Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day like I am, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about pain. Before we get started, I wanted to put in a disclaimer. Everybody perceives pain in a different way, and so you're going to have to find out the way that this works best for you, and there's no guarantees with this. Although the research has shown this works very well, each person is different, so take it for what it's worth and try it out and see what you can do with it. So, pain is perceived in the brain. In other words, even though you feel like it's in your finger when you whack your finger with the hammer, it's actually felt in your brain. Because if you damage your spinal cord or that part of your brain that perceives pain, you whack your finger with a hammer, you won't feel it. And so it's really in your brain that everything happens. And so when we work on something continually, the brain dedicates more of itself to that particular thing. Like if you're learning a sport, when you first start out, you're not very good at it, but as you practice more and more and more of your brain gets used for that particular motion that you're using within that sport. So then the more of the brain is dedicated to that particular sport as you get better at it. And it's basically the way it works. So pain is very similar. Unfortunately, in our society, we always ask about how bad your pain is. And so as you pay more attention to your pain, then you actually get more of it. So in a little publication I did called Your Brain Rules, which is kind of a play on words, your brain pays attention to what you're paying attention to and you get more of it. So if you're paying attention to more pain and you're emphasizing the more pain, you actually will feel it more. And that's basically how it works. So the more you are feeling pain and noticing it, more of your brain then becomes dedicated to it, because now your brain feels that this is really important and something that it must be paying attention to. And as it pays more attention to it, more of the brain gets dedicated to it. And that's what happens with chronic pain. Over time, people keep paying more and more attention to the pain and not replacing it with something else. And it tends to take over more of your neural networks, and you will just have more pain. And that's basically the way it works. And there's a number of books, I think Soft Wired and a few other books on the whole neuroscience process that shows that, I think, that tells stories about particular people that got into chronic pain. And the more they paid attention to the pain, the more the pain got stronger. And when they then distracted themselves and learned to do other things, then as they learned to do more other things, the brain became more versed in doing those other things, which reduced the amount that it was paying attention to the pain, so the pain decreased. So that's the principle of this whole Wellness Wednesday, is how can we teach our brain to pay attention to the things we really want and not things we don't want, so we get more of the things we do want rather than things we don't want. And today we're going to talk about pain. So, since this is a short presentation, I'm not going to go into the whole neurology of it. Neuroscience is a huge, big field, and I think it's not Silicon Valley anymore that's taking all of the money. It's Neuron Valley that's taking all the money, because there's more money being spent on neuroscience and how your brain works than there is on computer investigation, that kind of thing. So, your brain rules number 2: tell your brain what you want, not what you don't want. So, if you're having pain in a particular area and you're paying more attention to it, then your brain is paying attention to the pain. So we know that from studies that if you just think of things like soft and warm, it relaxes you. And when it relaxes you and you think of that soft and warm, it takes your attention from the pain so that you're not feeling the pain as much. So remember that when you are starting to feel some pain, think of soft and warm, and think of some pictures of, putting your hands in some nice warm water, this nice soft kitty cat. That's how they sell toilet paper, right? It's the soft thing that they sell. It's not the toilet paper itself, it's being soft. It's the feeling that it sells, which takes precedent over your brain, and your brain pays attention to that. So another thing you can do is you can pick another area of your body. So if your left shoulder is giving you pain, if you take and think about the right shoulder and just move the right shoulder around in areas that don't create pain, it then tells your brain what you want. It tells your brain that you want more movement without the pain on the left side. And over time, along with, you can add soft and warm to it, Along with that, it will help to reduce the pain in that other area, and the pain will be reduced and won't last as long, and you'll feel better quicker. The other thing is touch. So what happens, the neurology of this is very simple, is that pain receptors, the speed at which they send information back to the brain is slower than the receptors you have on your skin. So that's why if you bump your head against the covered door, you put your hand on your head and go, ah. And when you do that, it reduces the pain because now your brain's feeling your hand on your head and not remembering the pain from bumping the door. And so more information is sent faster of your hand on your head than it is the pain receptors. So skin receptors, and that's why if you have pain and you hold a nice gentle touch to that area, it actually helps to reduce the pain too. So now, when you're putting your hands on that area, you can just find that area. Say you're having some belly pain. That's why when you have belly pain, you kind of roll over and hold on to it like that. Because again, it's sending messages faster to your brain than the pain sensors will. So it gets your brain occupied with that. So now you have a number of things. You can think soft and warm. You can, if you have an area of pain, you can move another area where you don't have pain and feel how good that feels. You can put your hand on the area of pain gently and have your brain pay attention to your hand, not the pain. That's another thing. And also, now it's your turn. So try a combination of these. Touch the area, think soft and warm, moving the non-painful area, and different combinations to see which ones work for you. Anyways, those are some tips to reduce your pain and have you pay attention to things that are not painful. And that's our Wellness Wednesday tip of the week. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of the day.